The NGO space looks so inspiring online. On social media, you're attending the UN, you're putting out projects, you're putting out your different programs that you're doing. You're working with some amazing brands, some amazing individuals. You're connecting, you're building your numbers. You go from having 5 volunteers to having over 600. It's an amazing experience, right? But there is actually a part that people don't talk about, and that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is AMARACHI Ayaso, and I am a policy professional and an NGO founder. My NGO is called Iruka Africa Foundation. We focus on gender equality, education, and policy reformation. We're currently located in 12 countries across Africa and hope to build some more. But of course, with building, we need to take time and build properly. I've grown volunteers from my first year being from 0 to 50. And then now growing up to over 600 different volunteers. Like I said, we're in 12 different countries, raising funds, running projects, tons of them, and also running a growing team as well too. So when I tell you that I have experience, I'm telling you lived reality. So please listen to me in this video because I know what I'm saying. Passion alone is not enough. A lot of people start NGOs from the aspect of passion, which is good and it's not a bad idea, right? But if passion is the only thing that you're going to use to continue to sustain the organization, you will be sadly mistaken by the time you get to year 8, like me. Passion is good, but without structure, strategy, funding, leadership, you're really just headed for disaster and headed for burnout. Impact requires systems. Impact requires systems. It requires policies. It requires you to be able to know exactly what you're doing, where you're headed, and how you plan to get there. I don't only run Iruka Africa Foundation, but I also run a social enterprise, Lily's Africa and Lily's Bridal. So basically what these brands do is you make a purchase, you help a child through school and other initiatives as well too, right? This is still the social development space, but just a social enterprise. So not non-profit. This is for profit, but with a CSR arm as the strong business model. All of this, whether you're in the social enterprise end or you're in the full nonprofit end, you need structure. If you keep going things based off of hopes and dreams, you will not really get very far in this space, and it will quickly, and surely burn you out. And that was how I started as well too. I was so passionate about the things I was doing, the projects we were making, the strides that we were doing. But then I started to see that the passion was into my personal funds. And also as well, I started to see that I was the only one doing things. That's when I eventually had to build a team. I now have an advisory board that is on my behind like crazy. Okay, being on top of things like that, interacting, going to networking events. And then the thing about also development spaces, you have to be the main attraction when it comes to your organization. You need to be out there, you need to be networking, you need to be telling people about your organization, what you guys do, what you guys plan to do, the strides you want to do as well too. And then if you are anything like me and your organization is close enough where you are in different countries, you also have to understand how these countries work. You have to be sure that you don't get people who will come and steal your idea and do a whole bunch of stuff. There's also the legal backing. It's a lot of work and people don't really realize it. And they're so quick to want to start an NGO rather than just being a part of one and then growing it and being a part of that impact and great strides. So that's what I would say. Funding is very hard. Many people assume that NGOs are always funded. They're always getting money. People accuse us a lot of money laundering, but that's actually not very true. The truth is funding in the NGO space is quite very competitive. There are a whole bunch of other people doing other projects. And a lot of times these donors and grant givers rather, they have already a set of people that they've worked with for years and years on end, just like any other business. And because of that, they may be not so on the end of wanting to fund you or wanting to be a part of what you're doing. So a lot of times, a lot of NGOs that do incredible work struggle financially. And these are one of the biggest things because and sometimes also, it's also the fact that these NGOs do not have these proper structures. Like I've mentioned, they don't have their things in place. They don't have their books in place. And these are all things that need to be worked on in order for you to be properly funded. So if you're looking for funding as an NGO or an NGO founder or an activist, I think the first thing too is go back to the basics, ensure that your books are on top of things, things. Ensure that all your documentation and the things you need in order to be funded is up to date. This will help you and will allow you to be able to get to where you need to be. If you're interested, you can click the link in my bio, and I have a free resource for 5 things I've learned as an NGO founder. Click the link in my description bar and you'll be able to see the link to that item that I think you really need. It's an ebook. It's just, I think, like 15 pages and it's free. So just click below and then there. And also, if you're interested on a one-on-one call consultation, you can also click the link in my bio, and I would be so willing to get on a call with you and we can talk about all things policy, all things NGO, and you're getting you up to speed. So you can click that link. That's not free, but it's definitely a resource that you want. So go ahead and click that. The truth is, people are really more invested in visibility than they are in impact. And that's the sad truth. You go to a lot of these things. I had the privilege, by the mercies of God, to attend the United Nations ECOSOC, which I would love to do a video about that, maybe in the near future. But I did notice a lot of things about some people. A lot of people that were there were so obsessed with visibility and the fact that they were at ECOSOC, and then we forgot the aspect that after you leave here, you need to be sure that you are making the impact that you want to make. If we're being honest here, a lot of NGOs just focus on the photos, the pictures, what they're going to put out, how they're going to put it out, and that's the wrong thing to focus on. Though I do believe that social media is a big tool and how you can use to position your NGO, I should see tons of pictures on your NGO page of the projects you guys are doing more than I'm seeing flyers. There's too many nonprofit NGOs that all they have on their page is flyers, and honestly, that's part of the reason why you're not funded, because your page looks terrible. You need to post pictures of the actual impact, the actual projects that you guys are doing, right? But then now here's the thing. Don't be so obsessed with those pictures, and don't be so obsessed with the pictures that you're going to get out of. Make sure that you're actually making impact, and that these girls, boys, women, counterparts, beneficiaries that you are reaching are actually getting the impact that they need. A lot of these NGOs, your projects are not sustainable. With all due respect, your projects are not sustainable. You're sitting here putting out projects that cannot be sustained, number one, and that are just things and schemes for you to look good and feel good about yourself. Are you really doing projects that people want to see? Look, I'm going to a whole nother different video, so that'll be another video. If you want me to talk about the things you need to know as a nonprofit or a social impact individual professional, I will gladly do that video. But just to stay focused on this, like I said, ensure that your products are sustainable and impactful, and they have a long-term impact as well. More focus on that than it is on the pictures. The pictures should just be a byproduct for you. The videos and the content should just be your reward for your hard work. One thing, and the last thing that I'm going to point out that people don't really talk about when it comes to this NGO space, is the emotional baggage and the emotional heaviness that it can put on an individual or your entire team as a whole. I mean, we're talking about disappointments from projects, disappointments from funding, disappointments from pitches that are just not hitting, right? That's one end. The second end is the actual emotional baggage that comes with the work and the impact that you're doing. Just like I said, I will give you a quick story about something that actually impacted me, and it was when we went to a school, and I talk about this all the time, and the girl that I spoke with, she tells me that her mom told her that she would not be paying for pads for her. Y'all, for me that was insane, because I was just like, which mother tells their child that? Like, who does that? But this is the Africa that we live in. This is the reality of things that we live in. And the social impact space will expose you to poverty. It will expose you to injustice. It will expose you to trauma and a lot of difficult conversations. And these are things that you have to try to mentally departmentalize a lot, because the emotional heaviness will be on you. So I think it's really important that social impact development professionals, that you have these ways that you balance things, because if not, you will just be stressed. Yeah. I think despite of all of this, the development space is actually a very rewarding space, and something that I would definitely highly 10 out of 10 recommend to anybody to join, because I mean, there is so much power that comes in making an impact and changing people's lives that you really can't get from any other space. I mean, maybe law as well for my law people. But it's really work that matters, and I think it's such an amazing space to be a part of. So if you want to go into this space, or you're already in this space, I think the biggest thing I'll tell you is go in with passion, but also with wisdom. If you guys enjoyed this video, I really hope you did. But if you did, ensure that you like it and comment down below and tell me what you also think about the development space. Are you a development professional? I would love to know and would love to communicate with you in the comment section about this. Ensure to follow me on all my social media platforms as well. And I really look forward to our next video. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button because it's there, it's waiting for you. And of course, check out other videos that I have on my channel as well, because we post every week over here. Okay. I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to stay good and stay limitless. Udo.